Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. The government of the Northwest Territories says it has no statistics on youth visits to emergency rooms for self-harm, and one Yellowknife MLA thinks that should change. This all came out during a sitting of the NWT Legislative Assembly earlier this month. An MLA brought up her concern around a general increase in emergency room visits by youth who have self-harmed. But while national data on that exists, it's not readily available for the Northwest Territories. The CBC's Devin Trudinik explains why.
I'm here at the Stanton Territorial Hospital in Yellowknife, where, according to the territorial government, it has no statistics concerning youth visits to the emergency room concerning self-harm. It says that's because self-harm typically is not the primary diagnosis, but one psychiatrist says that's part of a larger issue with how hospitals across Canada are not consistent in how they collect data.
The way that hospitals and health authorities work is up to that hospital and health authority. There's not really a whole bunch of guidance on using the same systems or language. So there's a lot of discontinuity between sites.
Black says the more specific data becomes, the more usable it is. Shauna Morgan is the MLA for Yellowknife North. She raised the issue concerning youth visits to the ER at the Legislative Assembly earlier this month. Morgan says more efforts to track self-harm are worthwhile.
We struggle to collect data on lots of aspects of health, and I know that we can't collect data on absolutely everything out there. I do think this is something that we should be prioritizing going forward.
Despite the lack of readily available data, a spokesperson for the Northwest Territories Health and Social Services Authority says Stanton Territorial Hospital has not observed a significant rise in admissions for self-harm. Devin Trudinik, CBC News, Yellowknife.
There's disappointment tonight from Inuit leaders and Indigenous scholars after the defeat of legislation that would have criminalized residential school denialism. The Senate voted down an amendment adding that language to an anti-hate bill, but it ultimately passed the bill. Bianca McEwen brings us the reaction.
It is unbelievable to see that there's still that racism out there.
Jack Onawak says he doesn't know how people can deny what occurred at residential schools. He says seeing the amendment shot down was disappointing and hurt survivors.
It really is questionable to see whether the deniers really believe that, or they just want to still go through the process of assimilation and make and change. And forget about the First Nations and Inuit. It is unthinkable.
Nunavut Senator Nancy Karatek-Lindell brought forward the amendment. She says even though it faced resistance, she's disappointed it didn't pass.
There was quite a bit of backlash, people using the fact that freedom of expression was being denied in cases when we put forth amendments like this. I did try to put it through in exactly the same format as the Holocaust denialism that was passed some years ago.
In Canada, Holocaust denialism was criminalized in 2022. A Justice Minister spokesperson says residential school denialism doesn't fit within the framework of what Bill C-9 was designed to do. Kimberly Murray, Queen's University's national scholar in Indigenous legal studies, says this shows an imbalance of the law.
When I think about everything that's included in C-9 and everything that's not included in C-9, it tells me that Indigenous people are not worthy victims in the eyes of the federal government of Canada. We're not worthy of having protections that other groups in Canadian society are entitled to, and that's very problematic.
Beyond criminalization, Murray says she'd like to see the federal government improve education on residential schools. Onawak says he's backing the senator's efforts.
There will always be those people, but we did not survive in the North by giving up. Our ancestors moved forward in a very harsh environment. We can do the same.
A Justice Minister spokesperson says the government wants to conduct a parliamentary study on this. And right now, Cara Tuck-Lindell says she's speaking with other Indigenous senators looking at how to push the law forward. Bianca McEwen, CBC News, Iqaluit.
A proposed gold mine at the Tulsequah River in northern BC is stirring up controversy across the border. The mine site is 100 kilometers south of Atlan, BC, and just 10 kilometers upstream from the U.S. Katrin Pilkington tells us why some Alaskans oppose the mine.
The new Polaris gold mine is going through the BC environmental assessment process. The project is not popular in parts of Alaska.
We cannot afford to stand by and watch BC threaten the health of Alaska's fisheries, transboundary rivers, and our communities. It's time for the state of Alaska to protect Alaska's interests.
The proposed mine is just upstream of a sore point for Alaskans, Tulsequah Chief. Toxic waste from the abandoned mine has been pouring into the Taku watershed for decades, a critical spawning river for Chinook. There isn't definitive evidence pollution from BC mines is contributing to salmon decline, but for Alaskans, a new project is not worth the risk.
British Columbia's track record within the same watershed has not proven that they can develop and operate and close a mine without impacts.
The mining company, Kenna Gold, says they've responded to a number of concerns, many of which centered around the transportation of hazardous materials on the river.
We've changed the process so that there will be no cyanide in the processing. The project is to produce a concentrate that would then be flown to market by plane and not transported by boat.
The project's public comment period ends Thursday. Katrin Pilkington, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Some Yukoners say they're struggling with high, inconsistent power bills, and they say it's been happening for months. People report that their bills are unusually high, estimates of kilowatt hours are inaccurate, and billing period timelines are irregular, which makes it hard to keep a budget. Now, the Yukon NDP is calling on the Yukon Party to investigate the issue.
Your power bill becomes this thing that is never really transparent or never really consistent. And so it's not just the cost, because we all understand that the cost of power has gone up. But what this petition does is it's calling on the Minister of Justice to ask the board of the Public Utilities Board to hold an investigation into the billing practices of both ATCO and Yukon Energy.
Neither ATCO nor Yukon Energy have provided a response on a potential investigation. White says the petition will circulate over the summer before being tabled in the legislature. The federal government has taken a first step in laying down the law for social media companies. It has just tabled a new bill called the Safe Social Media Act. Parents have been pressuring the Liberals to help make the internet a safer place for children. Marina von Stackelberg has a first look at what the bill proposes.
This new law would require social media platforms to restrict accounts for children under the age of 16. But those companies could be exempt from the ban if they can prove they've brought in enough safeguards. Social media giants and AI chatbots would have to prevent children from viewing harmful content like pornography. AI chatbots would also need to have a way to intervene if a user plans to harm themselves or others. Social media platforms would be required to label all fake content and remove sexual content of children, survivors of assault, or anything sexual posted without the person's consent, all within 24 hours. If the platform doesn't act fast enough, users would be able to file a complaint with a new federal regulator that could issue orders and fines.
We're failing our children. Enough is enough. Our parents cannot face these challenges alone, and the safety of children can't be an afterthought. We need basic protection in place so every child in this country can be safe on platforms they use every day.
The federal government has been under pressure from parents, advocates, and politicians to do more to deal with the harms of social media. Those include these platforms' addictive design, impacts on mental health, and harmful content.
There's a huge responsibility on these companies that they continue to shirk. They continue to say that they don't have accountability for the people who are using their platforms to go after our kids and exploit our kids.
Canada's new legislation comes as several countries try to limit children's access to social media. Australia became the first last year to ban accounts for anyone under the age of 16. The Liberals have tried unsuccessfully to bring in this type of legislation before. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
Winnipeggers are dealing with the aftermath of heavy rains from last night. Floodwaters quickly took over. People abandoned their cars in the middle of the streets. Others worked to stop the never-ending flow of water into their basements. Rosanna Hempel reports.
Up to tennis ball-sized hail and more than 10 centimeters of rain in some parts of the city. Tuesday's storm damaged cars and knocked out power for thousands of Winnipeggers. It flooded streets and underpasses. These first-time homeowners in North Kildonan are cleaning up after their backwater valve failed.
The hail started, and it started getting more intense and more intense and more intense, and then I decided that I should probably come check out the basement. I got to the top of the stairs, and my jaw hit the floor.
Sewage was bubbling up through a drain in the floor, 20 centimeters high. It destroyed appliances, gear, and keepsakes from Andrew and Rebecca Van Segelin's wedding. The new floor will also have to be replaced. They didn't get a lot of sleep.
I could not go to sleep because I was worried about the basement flooding again because I knew there was another storm rolling through.
The city of Winnipeg says it got 851 911 calls in 12 hours, including for stranded vehicles. Several were spotted down the street on McLeod Avenue. Tow truck driver Grant Cabez hauled 7 in the area away on Wednesday.
It's been busy, steady, nonstop, and it will be probably till we catch up. It could take a week and a half.
Manitoba Public Insurance says more than 8,000 claims have been reported to them in Winnipeg so far. Rajveer Dalon found his car like this after work on Tuesday, dented by hailstones.
We just came out, so there are around a lot of cars, around 100 cars in the parking, so every car got damaged like that.
The city's 311 service has also been inundated with more than 1,000 requests, including for clogged catch basins and downed trees. The city says crews are working around the clock to restore services. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
South of Winnipeg, volunteer firefighters worked feverishly through the morning to rescue people by boat from rising floodwaters. Massive hail, a deluge of water, and cracks of thunder ripped through southern Manitoba. Local states of emergency are now in place in a number of communities. Alana Cole has that part of the story.
It's gone down a little bit, but we opened the garage door and it just flooded in.
This is Brienne Lucier's family home, her car partially underwater. She woke up this morning to her mom telling her they'd be getting pulled out by boat.
Never thought I would have to do that, especially in my own house.
The storm in Gros Isle started yesterday afternoon. The rain kept coming, so did the water inside. Their basement flooded.
When I was going upstairs to get another flashlight, there was a bunch of water everywhere under the stairs.
Crews in the area have been working to try to get power back on. The RM of Rosser declared a state of emergency.
As you can see, a number of homes have yards full of water. As you saw, some people had to leave. Now, officials say most people are staying with friends and family, but an evacuation center has been set up at the Gros Isle Rec Center.
That's where we met Vic Gagini. Water in his basement damaged memorabilia and music he's been collecting for decades.
I've worked at it for a better part of my life, and it's like I never did anything.
Not far from here, others are dealing with the same situation in Stonewall.
The basement window.
This is the water being pumped out of Ryan Margette's basement. Wedding photos could be lost.
It just sucks, right? Like you can't say that any other way. Like, we're not going to be able to salvage everything that was in our basement, that's for sure. Is not going
Chartrand's house, his
kind of stressful, getting to sleep in my own bed.
They're still cleaning up. His mom says flooding and tornado warnings came around the same time.
Hey, it's flooding downstairs. We have a blow-up mattress and a bed down there. Do we stay downstairs because there's a tornado warning?
People are lending a hand where they can, like Mike Walker and his neighbor, helping pump water out of basements.
Oh, this is Stonewall. This is what we do that. Yeah, it's a small community and try to help our friends. So.
That was reported by the CBC's Alana Cole. Stonewall, Manitoba had more than 255 millimeters of rain reported by 9:30 this morning. The town's mayor called it unprecedented. A clarification to yesterday's story about the loss of 2 people in Gangnam-suk, Nunavik. We reported that search and rescue operations have been suspended. Recovery efforts, however, are continuing. A polar bear was spotted in Iqaluit's Sylvia Grinnell Territorial Park on Tuesday evening. Nunavut RCMP and wildlife officers responded after the bear was seen near the park's pavilion. RCMP say the bear was reported around 7:15 p.m. About 7 RCMP officers helped Nunavut wildlife officers at the park. The entrance to the park was blocked while officers secured the area and evacuated members of the public. CBC has reached out to the government of Nunavut's Department of Environment for details on the encounter. A sea cucumber found off the coast of Nunavut has an unusual ability. When a small piece is ripped off, that piece continues to live. Researchers made the discovery by accident when a small section of sea cucumber continued to thrive after it came away from the main plant. It has no tentacles to gather food, and it can't reproduce. The leader of the study says the cucumber flesh is not alive, but it's also not dead.
One area that would be really interesting to look at would be whether or not the cells are actually immortal, looking at their DNA, seeing if they're actually aging, because that would give us a more definitive idea of how long they could live.
Jobson says more research is needed on sea cucumbers and their unique ability. Young chefs from across Canada faced off in the National Kitchen Brigade's final in Montreal on the weekend. 5 teams of high school students competed for the chance to take part in the International Culinary Competition final in Paris. The CBC's Paula Dan Perez dishes on the sizzling showdown.
Some heated competition here. Out of more than 200 teams, only 5 made it to the finals. Young chefs between 12 and 17 years old are competing for the national title. The winning team will represent Canada against France. This is the National Kitchen Brigade's finals in Montreal. Teams had to cook dishes with 3 ingredients revealed at the start of the competition: ocean perch, asparagus, and cherry tomatoes. They also had to prepare a smoothie with milk.
It was a bit stressful because we were like in front of everyone. It's the last step before Paris, so we really want to go. But also it felt good because like we were working together as a team. Even if I kept screaming at her to like bring me stuff, it wasn't like mean or anything. It was really some friendship thing.
The competition is one part of the Kitchen Brigade's program, where kids take free cooking and nutrition lessons after school throughout the year.
All of a sudden you're conscious of how much it costs. How can I make the best out of this piece of meat or fish? How can I introduce new proteins that are cheaper but healthier?
But on the day of the competition, it's all about taking home the trophy.
C'était bien, c'était comme vraiment stressant, mais on a eu du plaisir et on a tout donné ce qu'on pouvait.
It didn't feel much like the big competition. We were like in our element. We were just cooking and just thinking about cooking.
Only one team gets to go to Paris.
It's something special because it's the Gordon Bell High School. Bravo!
Students from Winnipeg won for a 2nd year in a row.
I feel really good, relieved, just all this effort, all this work just paid off.
Paris is a whole different story, just such an amazing opportunity.
The final round in Paris takes place at the end of June. Paula Diane Perez, CBC News, Montreal.
What if the freshest salad in your kitchen didn't come from a field or a supermarket shelf, but from a small indoor farm on your countertop? A British tech company is planning to launch automated indoor growing units this summer. They'll allow users to grow microgreens, salads, and herbs at home. Take a look.
We're on a mission to change the way the world eats by allowing people to grow their own food in their own home in as little as 8 days. We've created what we call smart farms that are these incredible units that you put in your home and they allow you to grow food. They control the temperature, the humidity, the light. All you have to do is add water, and these mats contain all of the seeds that somebody needs for different crops, and they simply put the mat inside the unit, you shut the door and they grow. This is a wonderful seed mat called Taste of Tokyo, beautiful spicy Asian mix of plants. And down here, we have a whole tray of pea shoots, just 10 days old. Look at that. This is so delicious.
If we grow something that big, 25% of it gets consumed and the rest of it gets wasted along the supply chain for one reason or another. And it's completely and utterly unsustainable.
Inside the smart farm, you've got a computer-controlled environment where we control the temperature, the humidity, and the lighting. The mats are watered on a regular basis a multiple number of times each day. So depending on what you're growing, the unit knows what you've put in there, and that allows us to deliver incredible speeds of growth and incredible nutritional value without the user having to do anything.
An annual Whitehorse Performance and Arts Festival is marking a major anniversary. Arts in the Park offers free noon-hour concerts and interactive visual art experiences through the summer months. The beloved festival is now in its 30th year, and a new exhibit is celebrating the milestone. George Moratis takes us there.
Nicole Bauberger says it wasn't easy. She was tasked with trying to reflect 30 years of art creation in one exhibit.
I did my best by looking at newspapers at the archives, we could approach it with math. Because for, at this point, they're doing 6-week arts in the parks. It's been as many, at least 12, and sometimes more weeks. But let's say there's an average of 10 weeks over 30 summers.
Bauberger curated the new show at the Yukon Artists at Work Gallery. Given the small space, she knew some tough decisions would be made.
Especially in recent history. Well, I had to accept that what I was going to do was going to be partial and incomplete, and to hope that I would be able to offer enough to make a space for people's own reminiscences.
Bauberger says creating the show has been a trip down memory lane, a chance to think about old friends, including some who are no longer here, who were a big part of Arts in the Park.
Steve Slade. It's hard to know. After he stopped being producer, he performed as seldom seen Steve Slade. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of amazed because he performed June 6th of 2024, and he passed away at the end of the month.
What do you want people to feel or know about Arts in the Park when they finish walking through and carry on their way?
I want them to remember what it's been in their life. And I don't know, think about the way we all create an art scene together. And
30 years of Arts in the Park, a mini retrospective, is on at the Yukon Artists at Work Gallery through the month of June. George Moratis, CBC News, Whitehorse.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.